Perfect. Okay, guys, how is everyone doing? I hope you're doing great. Let's turn on our cameras, please, over there, and let us turn them on. Okay, okay. I'm seeing more and more cameras on, so I'm going to start to choose people right now. Everyone who turned on the camera to do a role play. No, I'm kidding. Just joking. We're not going to be there yet because then you start turning off your cameras, right? And that's not what we want. So let's start. Let's start once and for all with the training that I have for you today. So, one of the things that obviously, the most difficult part that I find, not in this industry, but in general, in every industry, is the sales matter, right? The issue of being able to talk to people, or when somebody says no, or when they say that the price is too high, too elevated, what do you do? Share it in the chat, please. I want to know, what do you do? What do you think when somebody says that the cost is too high? There's no incorrect or correct answer. I just want to hear from you. What is it that you put in the chat? What is it that you say to people when they say to you, I don't have time for this right now? Has someone here heard, I have been purchasing it? What? I don't understand this. What do they say to you when you're trying to talk to someone and you give them the business or the patches to someone and they say, no, you know what? The patches are too expensive. What do you say back? Okay, let me ask you if you know, I don't understand this. What I answer when somebody says that, no, I'm sorry, Mireya. I'm getting confused. I don't understand what you're saying. Okay, so let's start, and I will leave the floor open for questions and answers later. So, we have to understand that this is going to happen, okay? In everything, that's why I've always spoken to you about the importance of asking questions. And I know that you'll say, Carlos, you said this 1,000 times. And yes, maybe I have, but I haven't said it enough because obviously you're not doing it. And I'm not saying that this happens to everyone. I'm talking in general terms, but should I tell you why they don't do it? Because afterwards, when we do a roll of the rolls here, and we're going to do this later on, I'll explain this to you right now in 30 minutes after you do the total opposite. And you never ask me a question during the whole time that we're doing that role play. So that is why you don't do it. And we have to understand that this is part of the business. And I want my goal with you today and every day when we talk about this is that you have to reprogram your mind to know that an objection isn't bad. And you have to wait and know that there is an objection coming. No, but why do I have to? Why? I don't buy them in Walmart. I found them. I found them in Walmart. What are you going to say? And that is why you need to know that, first of all, obviously, your product, that's why it is so important to know and to have information. Because today I was in a meeting with someone and they started talking about that. And before they buy the product, they're going to buy you. Did you understand that? Before you actually, that person comes and purchases the product, the person is going to purchase you because they're going to feel comfortable with you. They are going to be connected to you. If you don't have that there, you're not going to reach that sale of the patch or the house or whatever you're going to sell. And that is something that I was talking about today in a meeting. And one of the things that we always want to do, and as I was saying, I'm trying to make this easy because there are people who say, no, Carlos, I'm not a salesperson. Well, nobody was born a salesperson. A person can have it easier to know how to talk. That doesn't mean that they know how to sell. It's something that you need to learn, that you need to learn. And that's something I want to do with you today. My goal is for you not to try to convince that person. My goal is for you to help guide that person around her fears to somebody that she can trust in. Because when that person truly knows and sees that you have a good well-being for them, or you take them into consideration, that literally you're trying to help them, they are going to, the sales is going to be much easier for you. And I'm going to give you a few tips that I would like you to think about. And about the objections, right? You need to practice that. Okay, it's too expensive. And practice it, practice it, practice it, practice it. That same objective 10 times. You can be a whole week practicing that objection, the next week practicing the next objection. I don't have time for the business. Practice that objection. And I don't want you to sound like a robot because each person is going to have something different. But the objection, most of the times, can, I don't want to say that it can be the same, but it can be in the parallel rank. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, when a person is asking you a lot of questions, don't take it badly. The person is interested in that. Okay, they're going to ask then. If I want to know, I want more information. The more information the person has, the better the decision will be. The easier the decision will be. If a person is confused on how the product works, that person is not going to take the decision. So if they're not asking questions, answer them. It is more information that they are going to have. The other thing that we need to do is that when we are battling with an objection, calm down. Don't react. Oh, wait a second. What is the price? Oh, wait a second. It's okay. It's okay. This is part of this. That's why when I tell you the important thing about questions, and look, I'm going to tell you something. Answer them with another question. Because we want to dictate the conversation. How am I going to be in control of the conversation when I'm asking the questions? If the person is asking me, they're dictating the conversation. And if they're dictating the conversation, they're going to take you to not closing. You need to take them to close. Somebody's going to win here. The person who dictates is normally the one that is going to take that person to their side. Tell me if this sounds common for you, like an objection. It's very expensive. I need to think. I need to think about it. Have you ever heard one of those before? I need to speak to my spouse. I have no time. That is one of these things of multi-level. Has somebody heard any of those things? So, in the industry, everything that we've heard, imagine that you could have something for all of this. So, let's go one by one for a second. It's very expensive, for example. Why do you think it's very expensive? That was the only thing I said, nothing else. Why do you think it's very expensive, though? Now, the person is going to start to talk. And after that, another question. I need to think about that. I understand. What do you think need to think about? Another question. I want to talk to my spouse. I want to talk to my husband. I need to speak to my wife. And I'm going to use you. No, I need to talk to my spouse. Anna, does your husband know that you're here now? Yes, let's do something imaginary. Okay, Anna, are you okay with that? Yes? What do you think your husband would say if he were here now, hearing this information right now? Let's call him. Anna, is he there? Bringing over. Let's talk to him. One of those things, and I'm trying to do this as easy as possible because this is very deep in the start of the call or something like that. We have to do an agenda and see what is going to happen in this call. Anna, this is what we're going to do. Let's pass 30 or 45 minutes where I can explain how it works and ask you certain questions. And if we can work together, do you have enough? Do you have 45 minutes for this call right now? Yes, so I'm controlling the call. I did that in 45 minutes. So I want to put somebody in a box during that time. And this is what is going to happen at the end, Anna. There's going to be three things that you are going to say. You can say, yes, I want to work with you, Carlos. I want to be your business partner and earn a lot of money. Or two, no, Carlos, this is not for me. I want to continue working from 9 to 5 and I don't want to retire. I want to work my whole life for somebody else's dream. And three, what I don't want you to say, Anna, is what I want to think. Do you know why I don't want you to say that to me, Anna? Because it's just a good way of saying no to me. Say no to me. Because if you know that way, you know what you want, and so do I. Can we reach that agreement, Anna? And what I did there is I used an agenda. At the end, Anna, you need to take a decision. We already agreed that you're going to say yes or no. Because let me think about it. I don't know. I have to think about it is a way of saying no. I don't have time. Anna, why do you think you don't have time? Why do you think you don't have time? Because I work, I have children, I get home really late. At what time do you start working? From 9 to 5. At what time do you pick up the kids? And that's when we start to investigate. And between all these questions, what I'm asking is a person says, I don't have time. But 99% of those times, that first objection is not the true objection. No, I don't have money. 99% of the times, it's not true. There is something deeper, and our job is to discover that. That's why when I say to you, if you don't believe in this product, you're not going to sell it. You're not. Because possibly you might say that the person thinks that they do and they see and they're like, yes, I do, but you're not going to get very far until the person says they're interested in the product and you cannot purchase. Because when we understand that product that we have and you have passion for the result of the product, who are you going to talk to? You're going to talk to everyone. But if she's like, oh, I don't know, this is difficult. I've been here for 3 months and I'm not earning money because I haven't called anyone. I haven't done anything and I want to earn money that way. You're not going to sell that to anyone. That's one of these multi-level things. Anna, what is that you're talking about? Can you explain a bit more to understand this? And there is a great chance that the person is going to say, no, it's a pyramid scheme. What's a pyramid scheme? I don't know what a pyramid scheme is. That way, they're going to explain what they think a pyramid scheme is, and you're going to have to know how to combat that. And we're going to use that same example. What's a pyramid, Anna? It's that company where you have to recruit people underneath you and underneath you and underneath you. And why do you think it's a pyramid, Anna? No, because people never earn money underneath you. That's good that you said that. Anna, where do you work? In Walmart or CBS, whatever. So I want you to say, can I ask you a few questions, Anna? Would you be okay with that? Okay, a question. I want Anna to reply yes. Okay. Anna, in CBS, in the company, how many employees do you think you have? I don't know. 50,000? Maybe you're one of the last from the bottom. Do you think you can reach the top of the company, Anna? Why not? And I leave it there. I let her answer. So what you're saying, Anna, to know if you work Underneath, if you are an CBS employee, are you working at the bottom? Maybe you're a cashier and you're never going to be able to reach up here. So up here is the top of the company and you're down here. If you're underneath the base, I don't know, Anna, I'm a bit blind. What is that drawing? If I start up here and I do this, right? Because underneath I'm here. I think that is a pyramid scheme, right? So Anna, let me check. Let me ask you something. Who's in that pyramid scheme? You or me? Because pass this to my upline. So who's in the pyramid scheme? You or me? That's all I want to know. What do you think, Anna? That was a question. Now I asked the person a question. Anna, do you know that unfortunately many people put this kind of business as a pyramid scheme? Because I don't understand. And very quickly, Anna, let me ask you why this business works. CBS sells products. You work in CBS, correct? Yes. You sell shampoos, correct? Somebody has to make that shampoo, right? So let's imagine that they made that shampoo in China. The company made the shampoo. This is 100% true, obviously. This is something that you can use to compare commercial sales to direct sales, which is what we are doing. So let's say, for example, a shampoo or a product from China. You have the factory. Somebody in China needs to go ask for that product, right? Is that correct? There has to be a bus that has to go, a company that has to go pick them up to go to another company. So that person that searched for it has to earn money, right? They're not going to do it for free. Now, this other person is going to sell it to another person, and that person needs to earn money too. Now, they're going to put it on a ship and they need to send it to the US. That means that those people in the shipping and the ship and all that, they need to earn money out of that too. When it reaches the hands of that person, when it reaches the hands of that person, how many people in the middle earned money from the moment that it was created to the moment that it reached your hands? In direct sales, we go directly from the factory to other hands to the consumer's hands. That's why it's called direct sales. There's no TV ads. We are the ad. CBS, you have CBS, 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 CBS. You and I are the LifeWave ads. You and I are the ones that use our voice for LifeWave. There is no ad there. Are you seeing that difference? So if somebody says that to you, if you have this information, you can say that to them. People don't take decisions because of lack of education. Educate them. Educate them. You have to have all this information. You have to know about the product. You have to know. Now, I'm going to give you 3 steps for you to, and afterwards it's going to be a few of us, and we're going to see, raise your hand, or I will start to choose who. Mireya, you'll be the first one because you confused me before. with your questions. So you're going to be first because you confused me. So three steps. Step number one, we're going to validate people. We never want to be in disagreement. The price is very high, right? No, I understand. That is totally perfect for you to have that concept or that doubt. And why do I say that? I understand you. It is because what that is going to do is for us to be not be in non-agreement. Remember, when we are in non-agreement, there's automatically a tension. If I'm in non-agreement with you in something because we don't think the same thing, there's tension at that moment. So if I say, Anna, yes, I understand you. I understand that the price is high. It's valid. And that's when I can start and say, Anna, I understand that the price is high. It's valid. But why do you think that it's high? First of all, do you agree that the price is high? But now I want you to understand, what does that high price do? I want Anna to speak, 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 because in that talking and talking and talking and talking, she's going to give a lot of information that we're going to use with against her. And when I say against her, I know the phrase doesn't sound nice. What is the word? I'm not trying to sell to you. I'm trying to help you. And to be able to help you correctly, my job is to get all that information out, to be able to have that information, to be able to show you what you need. Most of the people don't know what they need. Number two, and I love this one. This is something that I do with my wife. Don't do it with your husbands and wives. I'm kidding. In English, this is called labeling, okay? Somebody help me with how to say this in Spanish. Okay, yes, labeling. The person's excitement. Look, it sounds like you're frustrated at this moment, right? You're labeling. I already named what you are feeling. Now, empathy on my side and control. You can also do this. This is something I'd like to. Look, Anna, you're not going to like this, what I'm going to say to you. You're going to feel frustrated. You're going to feel this, and that, whatever you want to say. You're going to feel hurt, whatever, the excitement. Anna is already waiting to feel that way. And what about if I don't feel that way? That is what is called labeling. It's incredible. And again, I have a course on this that I'm doing right now. I've been in sales for 6 months, and this is something that I started doing very, 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 very in depth in all this. But I'm trying to do this very concise, okay, for you. And the other one is questions. Questions. So let me ask you, what specifically makes you feel that way? No, it's that money is very costly and things like that. Let's imagine, Anna, that money isn't the problem. Would you start today? When the person says no, now you know that money is not an objection. There's something more. Then what is the reason, Anna? If money isn't the problem. No, now we realize what the true objection is, okay? What that person really is. So, for example, it's too expensive compared to what, Anna? Compared to you saying that it's expensive. Okay, well, I understand, but for to be able to understand, sorry, I'm not very intelligent. What you're saying is that your life doesn't have the value of $149. That's what you're saying, correct? No, I never said that. Okay, so what are you saying? Because I didn't understand that. Compared to what is it expensive? Let's pretend that these patches. Anna, you said that you had pain. Sorry, what was your symptom? What were your symptoms or your illness that you were talking about? Oh, you have lupus. Okay. So let's imagine that these patches take lupus away from you and cure you, and you can have a better life, a better quality of life. Imagine this. How much would this cost for you a month? What would you pay? What value, Anna, do you have that doesn't make you feel more hurt? And then I just wait 3 to 5 seconds. Just wait in silence. Don't say anything because now your mind is processing. Now your mind is running. Let's see, $149. How much do you spend in medication on a month? Medicaid pays for it. It's very cheap because of my health insurance. And are they going to give you a liver afterwards too? Carlos, but why a liver? But you know the pills have to be processed by that liver and also the kidneys. I have to think about it. Totally agree, Anna. But just out of curiosity, what is it that you need to think? Specifically, I want you to say, Anna, specifically, what is it that you need to think? Just out of curiosity. And at that moment that you ask that question, the person is going to start talking and they're going to say absolutely everything. I need to talk to my wife. Yes, of course. This is more for to have her information to see if you want to do it or to have an agreement to move forward. What would you think she would do? Anna, what do you think your husband would say? The next one. I don't have time. I understand. Let me ask you something. You are searching for something that is going to fit exactly in your lifestyle right now? Or are you searching to create something where you're going to have more time? If the person says to you that she doesn't have time, that is a problem. And the person says, I don't have time, and what are you going to do to earn more time? To earn more money, to earn more time. Sorry. I don't know. And that no, that I don't know is going to solve your problems. So what are we going to do to earn more money, Anna? Why don't you open your own company? Why don't you do this and earn more money? What an easy question, right? But you know what you need to do? You need to practice it. And to finish with this one, this is something at a multi-level. Well, if you're talking about other people earning money for helping other people, yes, that is correct. Yes, we earn money for helping other people that earn money. That is a business model where you refer people to on the products, like a show on Netflix, like a food, like a product. And as I said, this was something simple that I used for you to have a bit of understanding. And we have to practice this. Maybe Catalina. Hi, good evening. Good evening. Well, they have asked me what a pyramid about the pyramid, right? And I hadn't seen that answer because that's exactly what I didn't know how to answer when they asked me what a pyramid was. Because, I kept on thinking, well, for me, a pyramid is something else. So I wrote down your answer, the one you gave us. Look, in my experience, that answer and the example that I gave you always takes away the objection from them, right? So when I'm going to give you an example, okay? When we do a business presentation, I try to, in that business presentation, I try to eliminate most of the objections that you can have if I want to make myself understood. And if I eliminate the objection of, in my conversation, talking about what a pyramid is, or, the person that says that he doesn't have money to start a business. And in my presentation, what I say is, wait, we have a system where we do everything for you. We do business calls, presentations, live trainings 4 days a week. So now you can't talk about the objection of time because I already eliminated that objection, right? So it is very good for you, for those two, to be practiced and for them to be known. So when you know that, then you know what a pyramid is. Me personally, I didn't know. If you go to your phone, let me see here. If I see it in Google, let's see. What is a pyramid? Look, a pyramid is a business system that is a fraud and investment where the participants earn money primarily due to recruiting new members. and they don't sell products or services. They don't have a product. It is illegal, and the new members are the ones who continue creating and building the pyramid scheme. So in a pyramid, we're going to say, now Ellie, you start, you give me $500 to be here. Now that money is mine. I'm going to keep that money because it's a pyramid. If you want to see what a pyramid actually is, I recommend that the Burning Madoff documentary in Netflix. That guy, well, he went to the other side. He did it during 40 or 50 years. He did it on purpose. He, that was more like a Ponzi scheme, but that is totally illegal. So by having that information, you can't come and say that. Okay, yes, that question is clear. They always ask me when I'm going to do a presentation. I've been here for a little time and they always say, "Oh, it's a pyramid." So I was like, "Oh my God." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll ask my leader." And now I said, "I'll ask Carlos if I have the opportunity." And thanks for that answer. No, thank you for you to you for asking. Thank you. Alejandra, how are you? How are you doing? A friend of mine said to me, "Oh, I have a business to offer you. You need to spend $1,500." And I said, $1,500? And what are they going to give to me? And they told me, "Oh, you don't lose the money because you include people into the team. I promise that you don't lose the money. If not, I will respond." And I said, "Okay, I've got trust in her." So I used the $1,500. You push others, and then you have to put more people underneath you. So they push you. After 4 months, I said to her, "You know, I'm so sorry about this, but I don't like what we're doing." And she said, "Don't worry, I'll say this to the person who enrolled me." Because when she left, I told her that the money was never going to go back, and she had to give me back the money because she said that she would respond. So yeah, it's very different to be in a pyramid scheme. She lost the money, and she lost the money that she used after getting nothing back. And there's no product that is actually a business. It's not a business. So when they ask, that's what I explain. I always say that all businesses are pyramids, of course, because companies are pyramids. Yes, exactly. So you just have to explain it to the person. Yes, you have to make them understand how it is. Thank you, Alejandra. You're welcome. Monica? Hi, good afternoon. Good evening. What do you say to someone that says, "I need to think about it and talk to my primary care physician"? And the doctor says that since he doesn't have all the information, how you explained it to him, the doctor says that it's a placebo. The doctor says, don't get into that because it's placebo. I understand that the doctor doesn't have all the information. And that person then says, "I'm not going to use something that I completely trust in my doctor, and he's the one that knows because she's in the medical area." So how do you help them? What do you say? Okay, that's a great question because there's a lot of things here that we can learn out of this. Number one, don't lose time with people, and this word is not going to sound nice, who are dumb. Okay? And why do I say this? And I don't know if this is a correct word, but there's going to be people that if that same person you say to them, "Okay, no, I understand your doctor." Could you explain to me what the clinical studies that your doctor saw? What clinical studies did he see? Who in the company could your doctor speak to have such a strong opinion about it? These are things that the person can say, no, because nothing that you say is going to go to the business because they're married with your doctor. And remember this, the doctors are not going to be in favor of something that cures their patients. There's no business then. If you're a diabetic and I have to see you every 3 months, then you are an X39 and now you're not a diabetic anymore. How do I charge you for your health insurance, for example? That's it. That's a business. Now, I'm going to go to an even crazier concept. Who eats breakfast here? Almost everyone, correct? I think it was before 1980 something or 80, 40 something or something like that. Nobody in the world would eat breakfast. Nobody. You know what they did? The meat companies bought the person who purchased the Marlboro cigarettes, their marketing, and they need to sell more meat. I'm not going to sell more meat. I'm going to go to the doctors that give influence to the rest of the world. Hey, we need people to eat more. It's more healthy. And now doctors say you need to eat 3 times a day. It comes from your doctor. No, obviously, I'm not saying that doctors are bad, but there are people who are not going to see it. And I don't lose time with people. So, the same way I don't lose time with people that don't want to work the business who are in the team. If I don't see you running with this business and giving it at 100%, don't count on me. I'm saying this from now. How am I going to help you if I'm at 100% and you're at 20%? You're never going to have a result because you're not making an effort. Since you're not going to have a result, we're not going to work together. And afterwards, we'll say, look, Carlos worked with me and I had no result, but it wasn't my problem. It wasn't my fault. It's that you weren't doing anything. But obviously, it's going to be much easier to blame me. So this is a team. Those people earn $180,000 a week. If you call them, if they see you in their events and they call you on the phone, they work with you. 3 hours with you. And we are like their fifth line or fourth line downward. But if they don't see you in their events, I'm not going to work with you, okay? Why? Because it doesn't show commitment. And if you're not committed to the business, so I'm going to lose time in growing my business to working with the person that doesn't want to work their own business. Impossible. It's impossible. And that's what I say to all of you for you to work this way. In this business, it's a 20-80, 80-20. 80 people, 80% of the people aren't going to do anything. There are 100 people here. Out of these 100 people, 97, 17 are the only ones who are actually working or are going to work. The rest are just hearing me speak. That is the law. That's the law. I'm not making it up. Now, if you're going to run, I'll run with you wherever you want. Norma. Hi, good evening. Hello to everyone from California. I'm fine, thank God. What our colleague asked, is my doctor said, no, I have a brand partner, a colleague who was diagnosed with breast cancer from her mom, and without doing any more investigation, the doctor said that they needed to cut off both breasts, just in case, etc. The mom said you should do it because she was scared. But then my friend said, "Hey, doctor, a question. What do you think about the GHK0 copper peptide?" Nothing. The doctor took the computer and searched for it. You know what? I think it's something very good. And my friend said, I'm glad you said that because look, the patch that she's using my is activating my mom's peptide. So right now we're not going to cut anything off. Oh, no, no, no. But what do you think? Hey, doctor, but you just told me that this is something good. And the mom was afraid, but she accepted. And right now the woman is perfectly fine. But there was that challenge. Yes, and they're going to do that. And let me finish with one more thing. And if there's somebody here who's a doctor or a teacher, please, it's nothing against you. Not many doctors are actually able to negotiate. They're doctors. They have their consultation and that's it. Just like teachers. I was explaining that to my daughter the other day and he was like, Carlos, shut up. So I said, okay, so you're going to college to learn how to be a businesswoman, but you're learning from someone who is not a business person and not an entrepreneur. That doesn't make sense to me. A person that never had a mindset to be a business person, an entrepreneur, and create their own business is a person who's teaching you how to do this. It doesn't work. So as I said, the person is going to have a mindset of scarcity, but we're not going to fight against them for that. We're not going to fight against them. We need to continue and continue forward. So guys, I hope that you learned from this. I know a lot of things are going up and down. Let's continue working with you with this. So we can close many more. Remember, guys, on Saturday, you are, we are announcing the whole company, the compensation plan, the new compensation plan. I think it's at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I think until around 6 p.m. So please purchase your tickets. It's online. You can see it on Zoom. The whole new compensation plan is going to be there. So 9 ways we can earn money, 9 new ways. The ranks are going to change in name. There's no SPD, there's no senior director anymore. That doesn't exist anymore. Now it's through stars. The bonuses that there's going to be for reaching new ranks. The people that enroll have like 9 weeks to be able to earn some amazing bonuses, and they're going to show you the strategies of how you can do this. I think that the goal is the company said that until, for July 7th, you're going to have the new compensation plan. That means that we have a month to learn. 1 month to learn about this compensation plan. No, it's not free. If somebody knows, do you know what the tickets online cost for the Saturday event? Yes, I know, but there should also be the event was registered online. Okay, no, the event is you only register, but they don't charge you. Okay, well, I don't know. Free, free. Okay, there you go. So it's very important for us to see it, be there, be there. It's going to be transmitted in any language because next week we're going to teach this. Okay? So instead of asking me 10,000 questions, just ask me for 1,000, not 10,000, because we already went through Saturday. No, I'm kidding. God bless you. We love you and see you soon. Bye.